Okay students, so till now we have covered sentences, phrases, clauses, types of phrases, types of sentences, main clause, subordinate clause, and now we are going to study the types of subordinate clauses. Okay, so we shall now look at the three kinds of subordinate clauses: adjective clause, adverb clause, and noun clause. Okay, so we will be considering them one by one. So the first one is adjective clause. Okay, a clause which does the work of an adjective is an adjective clause. Okay, that's simple. Let's see the example. The boy who had rescued the child from the fire was rewarded for his bravery. Okay, so in this sentence we have the subject, the boy. Okay, the predicate, was rewarded for his bravery. Okay, so was is the verb over here. Now, who had rescued the child from the fire? Okay, over here this is a phrase. Okay, sorry, this is a clause. Okay, now in this clause we have a subject who and we have a predicate, had rescued the child from fire. But though it has a subject, though it has a predicate, it is not making complete sense on its own. So it is an adjective clause because it is qualifying the noun boy in the main clause. Okay, so it is basically enhancing the, telling the information about the boy who had rescued the child from the fire. This is what adjective clause is. Okay, next one. Harsh, who is an intelligent boy, solved the problem easily. Once again, subject Harsh, predicate solved the problem easily. Okay, so this is easy. Next is who is an intelligent boy is basically a clause. Okay, now this clause is having a subject who, predicate is an intelligent boy, and it is basically kind of qualifying the noun Harsh in the main clause. So this is an adjective clause. Okay, it is therefore a subordinate adjective clause. So we know it is an adjective clause. Why is it a subordinate adjective clause? Because by subordinate clause we mean it is not making sense on its own. Whether you see this adjective clause, who had rescued the child from fire, it cannot stand alone. The next one, who is an intelligent boy. So basically it is requiring the support of the other clause. So it is known as subordinate adjective clause and it qualifies the noun in the main clause. Okay, adverb clauses. A clause which does the work of an adverb is an adverb clause. Okay, there is an example. The ring was found where the thief had hidden the stolen jewelry. Okay, so in this example the subject is the ring, the predicate is was found. Okay, now where the thief had hidden the stolen jewelry, this is a clause. Okay, here we have the subject, the thief, and the predicate had hidden the stolen jewelry, but it does not make complete sense on its own. It is a subordinate clause. And what is the role it is doing as a subordinate clause? It is basically helping us understand where was the ring found. So it is an subordinate adverb clause of place. Okay. Next, we reached the theatre after the play had started. So we is the subject, reach the theatre is the predicate, and after the play had started is the clause. Okay, so why is it a clause? Because the play is the subject, had started is the predicate, but is not making complete sense on its own. So it is a subordinate clause and it is basically qualifying and informing us that why did the play didn't start. We reached the theatre after the play had started. So when did we reach the theatre? Okay, so it is basically highlighting the point of time. So this is adverb clause of time, subordinate adverb clause of time. You understand why are we calling it subordinate? We are calling it subordinate because it is not standing on its own, it's not having complete sense. We are calling it adverb clause because it is enhancing, it is telling us the information about the verb in the main clause. Okay. In where the thief, this is the explanation of the previous one, the thief had hidden the stolen jewelry is a clause. It has a subject and a predicate, however does not make complete sense by itself, so it is a subordinate clause. Since it tells us where the ring was found in the main clause, it is a subordinate adverb clause of place, just what we had discussed. Subordinate adverb clause, and by of place we mean that it is telling us the location. The next one which we had discussed just now, okay, that the play had started, we were considering the factor of time, right? So it tells us more about the time when we reached the theatre. It is therefore subordinate adverb clause of time. So also we can have adverb clause of reason, we can have adverb clause of cause, effect, purpose, condition, concession, result, comparison. Let's see a few examples of these. Okay, we were hungry. We is the subject, were hungry is the predicate, because we had not eaten anything all day. It's telling us a reason. A subordinate adverb clause of reason. The boy, subject, crept under the bed, predicate, so that he might not be seen. He's got a purpose, right? Subordinate adverb clause of purpose. I will listen to you if you tell the truth. I, the subject, will listen to you is the predicate if you tell the truth. So he's putting condition over there. So subordinate adverb clause of condition. Although I do not trust him, I will lend him my camera. Okay, so over here, I, subject, do not trust him is the predicate. I will lend him my camera is the clause. Okay, and it is a clause of concession because you are giving some kind of concession, you are giving some kind of liberty over there. Okay, John had run so hard that he was out of breath. Okay, so John, the subject, had run so hard. Okay, that had run so hard predicate, that he was out of breath. This is basically connecting information, giving us the effect of the main clause. A true Roman loves honor. Okay, so true Roman, the subject, a true Roman subject loves honor, predicate, more than he loves his own life. So basically here the subordinate clause is giving a comparative picture, but it is again holding a subordinate position because the main clause can stand on its own. A true Roman loves honor, right? It is complete sentence. So this is basically a subordinate adverb clause of comparison. Next we have, children, the last one, noun clauses. Till now we have seen the subordinate adverb clause of adjective, subordinate adverb clause of adverb clause, and now noun clause. Okay, subordinate adjective clause, subordinate adverb clause, and now subordinate noun clause. A clause which does the work of a noun is a noun clause. Only a noun or a word or group of words that does the work of a noun can be the subject or object of a verb. Remember that a noun can be the object of a preposition also. Okay, so how do we identify noun clauses? 3 positions. That is subject of a verb in a sentence, right? Object of a verb in a sentence, and at times object of a preposition. Let's consider the examples. What the captain had decided was accepted by all players. So over here we have what the captain had decided is a clause. Okay, now this clause is not making complete sense. What the captain had decided, it's something is still incomplete, right? It does not make complete sense. It is therefore a subordinate clause. So that is clarified that it is a subordinate clause. Now how do we know it is a subordinate noun clause? Because it is in the position of noun. It is the position of subject. This is a subject, okay? And it is a subject of the verb accepted. Accepted in the predicate by all the players. Okay, so it is the subject, and it is the subject of the verb was accepted in the main clause. Next one. Nobody knows what caused the accident. Okay, so what caused the accident is the subordinate clause, because it's not making complete sense on its own. Okay, it is the object of the verb knows. It is in the place of object, right? So it is the object of the verb knows. Knows in the main clause. It is therefore a subordinate noun clause. Object of the verb knows in the main clause. The main clause is nobody knows plus object. Okay children, so that was a very important topic. I hope the entire area of sentences, clauses and phrases is very well explained to you all. But what you all need to do is the exercises of the 3 chapters, chapter 8, chapter 9, chapter 10 have to be done in the textbook only. Okay, so these exercises are identification exercises. Find the noun clause, find the adverb clause, find the adjective clause, find the types of sentences, find the types of phrases. They're very simple. If you go through a reading of the chapter, you'll be able to do it yourself. So thank you very much children. Have a nice day.